Heat Check, the show where we break down key NBA storylines and give you the props, sides, and totals you need to bet. The top two teams in defensive ratings square off. Celtics at Warriors. We've got best bets for this East-West clash. Fresh off facing each other, Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic are back in action. Both stars look to strengthen their MVP cases. And back-to-back 60-point nights this week in the association. Cat Monday, Kyrie Tuesday. Who scores the most points on Wednesday? All this and more, starting right now on Heat Check. All right, everybody, it is 6 o'clock. It is time to talk basketball. Brendan Glasheen, joined by professional NBA bettor Raheem Palmer, contributor at the Action Network. Dan Titus is also here. He's a producer and betting analyst at the Action Network as well. We are here to give you everything you need to get smart about tonight's NBA games. This is Heat Check. Best bets, player props, what the public is on tonight. Stay tuned for that. We're going to take a different angle with what the public might be eyeing on the slate. That's all coming up. Everything we discuss on this show, the picks, data, all of it is available in the award-winning Action Network app. 10 games tonight. We've got a good one late. And we want to discuss two teams that have been phenomenal all season long. Celtics, Warriors, and they've been excellent on the defensive end. Warriors start to finish have been a good team for most of the year. Celtics have made their surge here in the second half of the season, but consistently very good defensive basketball teams, and both teams are close to fully loaded. Draymond Green is back, and he's a huge part of that team defensively. So we figured with this marquee matchup, Raheem, we'll start with you. Let's go through this game, and each of us will give a best bet for Celtics Warriors. Raheem, get us started, please.
Under 219.5. My model makes this game 215. First things first, you have two teams who are amongst the two best defensive teams in the league. The Celtics are first in defensive rating, giving up 106 points per 100 possessions. The Warriors are number 3 in defensive rating, and they just got Draymond Green back. They are 5 points per 100 possessions better defensively with Draymond Green on the floor. And then when you look at these two teams, neither one of these two teams play a particularly fast-paced game.
All right, sorry about that. Just had to get Raheem's video all checked out. So, Raheem, please continue. You are on the under tonight for Celtics Warriors. Explain.
With the under 219.5, when you look at these two teams, these are two teams who are among the best defensive teams in the league. You got the Boston Celtics ranking first in defensive rating, giving up 106 points per 100 possessions. You got the Golden State Warriors ranking third, and they get Draymond Green back in the lineup, and they are 5 points per 100 possessions better defensively with him on the court. When you look at these two teams, these are two teams who don't play at a particularly fast-paced game, and they're able to slow each other down on the defensive end of the floor. So I'm going under 219.5. My model makes this game 215.
Is tied for the second lowest point total on the slate with Cleveland, Philadelphia. That's one of the earlier games on the slate. Dan, your play tonight, Celtics Warriors.
Man, I really wanted to go the under 219.5, but Raheem took it from me. But yeah, totally agree with that one. But I'm going to go with a player prop. I'm going to go with Marcus Smart over 12.5 points. He'll be plenty busy harassing Steph all night, but he's already shown that he can score against this Dubs team. He scored 19 in their first appearance earlier this year. And going back to 2019, he's actually exceeded 12.5 points in 4 of his last 6 games. And he's only averaging 12.1 this season, but we've really seen his scoring surge go up in March as he's averaging 15.8 points per game over 6 games in March. So I like him to stay aggressive here. You know, I think it's going to be a very close game. There's going to be a lot of defense and a slowed pace, but I think Marcus Smart will find his way to scoring 12.5 points.
Spread is 2. Celtics getting 2 on the road. So, yes, it projects to be a close game. I'm also going to go to a player prop, but I'm going to take the under on Jason Tatum, 29.5 points. juiced. It's at -105. The over is juiced for this game. Now, look, I went back and looked. Tatum's had some fantastic games against the Warriors. He had a 40-plus point game just a few meetings ago against Golden State. But I am a sucker for recency bias. I do think the Dallas Mavericks presented a formula on Sunday to give the Celtics trouble at the end of games especially. And this is why I think Tatum could be very close to getting this number, but it might prevent him from getting there. And it's a compliment to Jason Tatum. He has been more of a playmaker more than ever in his career. So I think towards the end of games, Tatum has proven that he can distribute the basketball. Double teams will come. That's what the Mavericks did at the end of the game on Sunday when the Celtics lost at the end of the game. I think it's going to be very close, but I think Jason Tatum is in a better spot tonight to be facilitator Jason Tatum than scoring Jason Tatum. And I think with Draymond back, it clogs the middle. And I mean, look, if he hits his threes, I'm probably in some trouble, but I think this is a good spot for Jason Tatum to finish under. Still like the Celtics in the game, though.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Andrew Wiggins plays tonight, because obviously that's another wing defender that's been certainly helpful for the Warriors. But, having Draymond Green back certainly will slow up the scoring surge of Jason Tatum. But it's crazy taking an under here when he's been averaging 37.4 over his last 5. I like it.
What do you think, Raheem? You think I'm nuts?
No, I don't think you're nuts at all. I mean, look, you got two solid defensive teams, slow pace. Jason Tatum, he takes a lot of jumpers, and I think this Warriors defense can force them into a lot of jumpers. If he makes them, so be it, but I think you got the best of it.
All right, sounds good. If you're feeling frisky, you can get these 3 picks in a same-game parlay, odds at +400. So at your own risk, please. But yes, we are into this game tonight. Let's move to some other games. Betting is believing. We each pick one spread or one total that we like tonight. Raheem, please get us started.
I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to lay the 2.5 in the first quarter. We're going to lay the 5.5 in the first half, and we're going to lay the full game at -9. When you look at this Lakers team, they are as dead as fried chicken, as Jules in Pulp Fiction said. Look, the Lakers are 2-8 since the All-Star break. In 2 games in which they won, it required LeBron James to score 50 points. LeBron James, I love him to death, but he is at the point where he's getting close to Larry Holmes status. He can't carry a team the way he did before in his time in Cleveland. The Wolves are first in net rating since the All-Star break, plus 11.9. The Lakers are 28th in net rating since the All-Star break, minus 8.5. So these are 2 teams headed in different directions. The Wolves are going to be able to score at will. They're scoring 123 points per 100 possessions since the All-Star break. That's 4th amongst NBA teams. The Lakers are 27th in defensive rating, giving up 122 points per 100 possessions. And we know they can't score outside of LeBron James. So I'm laying everything with the Timberwolves, and they should be able to get it done.
All right. Dan Titus, your pick, please, for tonight.
Yeah, I gotta, again, Raheem's just taking all the good picks tonight. But yeah, shout out to him, though. He has an article on the Action Network where he went through his model that actually projected the Giannis Antetokounmpo as an MVP favorite. But I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to go with the Bucks -4.5 first half against the Kings. Now, the Bucks, they got this edge on the 2nd seed right now, and I think that they're in striking distance of the first seed against the Miami Heat. They're 20-13 in the first half against the spread this season, but even better in their last 10 games, going 8-2 over their last 10 on the road. Post All-Star break, this Kings team has a positive point differential of 5.9 compared to the Kings, which is a -3.6. Now, I know that doesn't get us to the 4.5, but if you look at the way that this Bucks team has been playing as of late, I really think that they're really going to try to will themselves to that number 1 seed. They've been playing really well as of late, and the Kings can't really say too much positive about the Kings, just given their state of their organization and in general where their seeding is in the Western Conference. So you could lay the whole full game at 8.5, like our fellow NBA expert Austin Wang has laid out, but I'm going to take the 4.5 in the first half, just given their recent performance and success there.
Raheem, you have thoughts on this pick? Bucks first half -4.5.
Yeah, I like this one. Look, the Kings can't defend at all. So I actually make this game like the first half. I have my first half model actually published today on the Action Network. You can check it out in my projections picks. I actually have this closer to 6. So I think you got a small edge there. And I think the Bucks they're rolling right now. Giannis looks like an MVP candidate. They got Brook Lopez back for defense. And then Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday are playing terrific right now. So I really like this pick.
Milwaukee is coming off a victory against the Utah Jazz, and I turn to them next because I'm eyeing the Bulls +7 tonight. Odds are on DraftKings, Bulls +7. So I know the stat that's been going around on the Chicago Bulls, okay? I get it. They are 0-14 straight up against the top 3 teams in each conference. The Utah Jazz are not a top 3 in their conference. Now, it's very close. They are on the margin of being a top 3 team in the Western Conference, but they're not. So this does not fit that argument. I don't want to hear it. Utah this season, Utah over their last 7 games is 3-4. They've alternated win or loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So they're 3-4 in their last 7 games. They have not put together a streak here. Utah is I couldn't believe this when I looked this up. Utah is an NBA worst 8-16-1 against the spread after a loss. They lost the other night to Milwaukee, as I referenced. This is their 5th game in 7 days, the Utah Jazz. Bogdanovich is out. Daniel House is out. I think that bodes well for DeMar DeRozan. So, yes, while the Chicago Bulls, they are reeling. The Jazz, they haven't played their best basketball. They're playing a lot of basketball in the last 7 days. 2 of their main front court guys, one's more of a bench piece. Bogdanovich had a nice game the other night, 26 points. I think that all of these things bode well. The Jazz likely probably win and bounce back, but I like the Bulls to hang around in this game. Getting 7 on the road, I understand Utah's a good home team as well, but after a loss, they have not proven they can cover the number. And some of these teams they played after a loss, Oklahoma City, Sacramento, they did cover against the Blazers. Now they're getting a good team after a loss, and they still haven't covered in those other circumstances. So I like the Bulls tonight. I like the Bulls to cover. Full game.
Not mad at it at all. Chicago did win this outright in their first matchup this season. They covered 3.5. I'd be curious to see what the Utah Jazz team is without Bogdanovich in there. So you're right. I think that that wing defense is certainly going to be vulnerable without some of their key pieces there. And, we could see DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine both have hell of games. But, really, I like that. I mean, you're getting good value there at +7 there.
Raheem, you got thoughts?
I'm struggling with this one. I lean towards the Jazz. Look, yeah. I know Bogdan's not out there, but they do have Rudy Gay. And this Bulls team, they're really, really banged up. I know Zach LaVine, he is probable for this matchup. He went through shoot around, but he hasn't necessarily been his same self that we saw earlier in the year. And I just think the Bulls are a little weak inside. This is a tough one, but you are getting the best of it, waiting for it to get to 7. I think it opens 6, so I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you, sir. It's I've seen 6.5 as well, but 7 I saw last on DraftKings. So keep your eyes on that. Bulls tonight. I like them to cover. Okay, it's time for a fun segment. All segments are fun, but this one's more fun. Time to spin the wheel. The wheel tonight has player props from the 10 games in the NBA tonight. Whatever player prop the arrow lands on, our experts will weigh in on whether or not the prop goes over or under. Producer, let's spin the wheel for Raheem Palmer, please. Here we go. All right, we're going right back to the game you targeted from the spread standpoint with the Timberwolves in the first quarter, and you've got Karl Anthony Towns, points prop at 27.5.
On over. Look, he's averaging 28.5 points on nearly 60% shooting against the Lakers this season, and that's in games with Anthony Davis. Now you don't have Anthony Davis. The Lakers are playing this small ball lineup, which is weird because they got LeBron with a bunch of non-shooters, but that's besides the point. Look, you're playing a small ball lineup, and LeBron is barely getting back on defense. It looks like the Lakers, they just quit. They don't want to make the play-in game. And like I said before, the Lakers are 27th in defensive rating since the All-Star break, giving up 122 points per 1 possessions. But more importantly, they're 22nd in opponent field goal percentage at the rim, allowing nearly 67%. So I'm going to Karl Anthony Towns over 27.5 points. Look, he just scored 60 the other night. I think he at least gets you 35 here.
Yeah, right. You're not even asking him to get half of what he had Monday. You're only asking him to get to 28 to hit the number. So, all right, Dan Titus is next. Let's spin the wheel for him. Okay, another points prop. Darius Garland of the Cleveland Cavaliers at 23.5. Cavs are taking on the Sixers.
I can rock with this. I'm going to go over Darius Garland 23.5. He did score 26 and 27 points against the Sixers earlier this year. So averaging 26.5 with Joel Embiid in the lineup definitely gives me some promise there. But we don't know if Embiid's going to play tonight. He is questionable. It is his birthday. I think he's going to give it a go. But if he happens to be off the floor, this Sixers team is letting up 3.8 more points per possession with him off the floor. So there could be another advantage there with Garland, with Embiid off the floor if Garland ends up putting up the points that I think he will. And he's done this in 9 out of 10 games and averaging 27.4 points per game over that span. So, without Jared Allen, I think that this offense has really gone through Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and not much else. So, without Jared Allen on the floor, we've seen Darius Garland's scoring average go up to 24.3 from 21.2 on the season. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here for Garland to continue to get buckets against the Sixers.
Did you say it was Embiid's birthday?
I think it is, yeah.
So why wouldn't he play? Is that you inferring something there?
I mean, I don't know. It said he's got some back soreness. And, Doc Rivers did say he was going to be resting some of the starters. So I don't know if this is one of those games, they don't play till Friday, but I don't know. They got a 2-game homestand on Friday and Sunday, I believe, or Saturday. So I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't travel, but we'll see. I think he's definitely in warm-ups, so we'll see.
Raheem, you notice he kind of just slipped that in there. It is his birthday, and then he continued his point. That was sneaky, but not sneaky enough.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he plays. I mean, a lot of times guys play on their birthday, they won't have those big games. So we'll see what happens.
I will. Well, it's actually my turn. I gotta spin the wheel now too. So let's see what we got here. Here we go. Okay, another points prop. It's RJ Barrett of the Knicks. Very good. And they are taking on the dreadful Portland Trail Blazers. Let's see. 25.5 points. It's at -105. See, you see this kind of number and you think, take the over, because it's the Blazers. Looking at game logs, Barrett's only hit this number, the over 25.5 points, once over his last 6 games. And don't get me wrong, the guy's improving. He's playing better, and the team's not doing all that well, but it's him and Julius Randle. It's been their kind of night, or their nights to just, okay, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. So I like the under here. He's only hit this once over the last 6 games. Yes, it's the Blazers. Josh Hart is a plus defender. I know Josh Hart has been more so the scoring machine as of late for the Blazers, which, again, doesn't say much. They really need him to score if they want to have any chance in some of these games. Brandon Williams is also scoring it well, but Josh Hart's a plus defender. Likely could draw the task of RJ Barrett. And I think I actually kind of like the game even more, because the fact that it is the Blazers means the number got pushed to a bigger number, 25.5. I actually think it might bode well better for Julius Randle to feast in a game like this. No Nurkic. Portland has been dreadful against centers from a defensive rating standpoint. I think this is a better game for Julius Randle. So I get why the number is as high as it is because of the opponent, but I almost think it helps to take an under for RJ Barrett.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, because I took this under a few days ago at 24.5. So I'm confused as to why they would raise it. And it's probably because, like you said, they're playing the Portland Trail Blazers. But at the same time, Julius Randle's just been on a scoring tear lately. Right. And this offense has really been going through him. Josh Hart is a plus defender, but I really think that the Blazers' weakness is really in their front court. No use of Nurkic. We got Trendon Watford out there. Drew Eubanks. They're just throwing out bodies at this point. Right. So, I think that, this is definitely going to be a Julius Randle type game. So 25.5 seems a bit high for me as well. And
Raheem, I know the volume's been there, right? But Barrett has not been efficient enough for me to be confident he can get there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this one is really, really, really tough. Obviously, I don't think he played in their first matchup. There was a game a couple of weeks ago where I think the Knicks were up 27 and the Blazers came back and won 112-103. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think this has a lot of garbage time potential too, because if the Knicks blow them out, you may not even see Barrett in the fourth quarter.
Thank you. I was getting worried. I'm like, oh, they're gonna play RJ Barrett the whole game. Now I see what your point is. The Knicks could blow somebody out. Got it, because that takes a lot for me to come around on too. All right, it's time. Just saying. I mean, come on. It's our final segment. We're gonna change it up a little bit this week on Heat Check. In consecutive nights this week, it's been the talk of the league. An NBA player this week, Monday, Tuesday, has dropped 60-plus points. It was Karl Anthony Towns, as we've discussed on this show. It was him on Monday. And then Kyrie Irving goes absolutely bananas in Orlando last night. He goes for 60-plus. So we asked the people on Twitter, Who will lead the NBA in points tonight across this 10-game slate? We'll share some responses. Our friend Adam Koffler, who does the Buckets podcast with Dan, he likes Donovan Mitchell to be the high point man. Mitchell's point prop tonight is 26.5. Let's see. Marquise chimes in. He likes Jason Tatum because no one has guessed him yet. So maybe I can actually win. LOL. I like the Tatum under, as we've discussed. I think the game script doesn't bode well for Tatum. He could still go for a 20-plus point night. You're asking a lot there. And then Colin chimes in. He likes Scotty Barnes of the Raptors, and his total is at 17.5. Very good. So keep your eyes out tonight on some of those picks from the people. And if they do well, we're doing a giveaway over at Action Network. So that's fun. Giannis popped up, Luka, Embiid. Those are some other popular choices. Raheem, who do you like tonight?
I can't let this slide. Who said Scotty Barnes? Because that person owes me a rumble. That's not going to happen. Why are you leading the people astray?
Well, that's true. I was just going to say, wait a minute. That's a pretty good total right now. That is the lowest total on the slate at 214.5. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't lead my people astray like that. I'm going Luka Doncic. They're playing the Brooklyn Nets. We know that this Brooklyn Nets team doesn't have a defense. And look, I mean, he's going to be able to get whatever he wants. The Brooklyn Nets are playing on a back-to-back, so the defense is going to be even worse with some tired legs. Give me Luka. I think he just puts it up right now. He's been in great form.
Okay. Who do you like, Dan, to be a high-point man tonight in the NBA?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Trae Young here. He's averaging 32.2 over his last 5. He's going up against Charlotte. Who does Charlotte stop? I know it's really their interior, but their perimeter can't guard anybody anyway. Plus, who's also out there for Atlanta Hawks? He has nobody else to help him score. Dude's been dropping 40 quite a few times over the last several weeks. So I'm going to go with Trae here.
Okay. I'm going to go Giannis, and that was one of the names mentioned. Giannis has had at least 30 in 4 straight. He is one of 2 players tonight on this slate to have 31.5 points as their total. LeBron is the other, and LeBron, we know, is going for a scoring title. So LeBron doesn't necessarily need 60, but he can just keep maintaining what he's been doing. And we can throw the idea of blowout out of this equation because Kyrie got to 60 and there was 8.5 minutes left in that game last night. So it is doable. Giannis is going to eat this Sacramento front court apart, whatever is made of it. No Sabonis, of course, anymore since the trade. They're piecing it together. They're just trying to get through the year. It could very well be a case where Giannis goes off and he leaves the game early, but I think he's setting up well. He had 31 and then 30 against 2 of the better teams defensively in Golden State and Utah, shooting it at a high percentage. Giannis has been at least 50% from the floor now in 5-6 straight games. So I think he's on a bit of a tear right now. So I like Giannis to be the high scoring man tonight. That was a fun little exercise tonight. Instead of going to the old poll, we decided to let the people chime in with the replies. So and you know what, Raheem? It happens. You get a Scotty Barnes in there, okay? Like it happens, man.
I mean, that guy's going for that's got to be 100-1 tonight.
I'm about to say, what are the odds on that? Scotty Barnes to be the highest scorer on tonight's slate, man.
We got a big same game parlay lottery winner right there. Lottery player, something.
I'm trying to think of like what would compare to him doing that. Like, remember when Devin Booker scored like 70 against the Celtics? Now, Booker was young Devin Booker. Like maybe that would be the night Scotty Barnes would have to have.
It would be like look at some of the guys who scored 50. Mo Williams has a 54-point game. Like a guy like that. That's what it would be for me.
All right. Well,
or Dana Barrows.
But at least they could shoot a consistent 3 ball. Like, Scotty Barnes, I don't know.
Be wild stuff if we get a third straight night in the NBA where someone scores 60 points. So we'll see. It was Cat Monday, Kyrie Tuesday. We'll see if someone else does it tonight. So that's going to do it. Let's recap our picks. So Raheem likes Timberwolves first quarter to cover. He also likes Karl Anthony Towns to hit over on the you like the Wolves across the board. First quarter, first half, and you like them full game. Just all in. Got it. Karl Anthony Towns, same game, 27.5 points over, and he likes Luka to be the high scoring man on tonight's slate. Dan Titus likes the Bucks first half, -4.5. Darius Garland over 23.5 points, and Trae Young is his go-to guy. And tonight I like the Bulls +7 full game. RJ Barrett under 25.5 points, and I like Giannis to be our high scoring man. Remember also in our game of the night, Celtics Warriors, Raheem likes the under in the game, 219.5. Dan's on Marcus Smart over 12.5 points. And I like Jason Tatum to finish under 29.5 points tonight. For more NBA picks all week long, be sure to check out Raheem, Dan as well on the Buckets podcast via the Action Network. Matt Moore also joins the guys as well. So great stuff there. I'm Brendan Glasheen. Thanks for tuning in to Heat Check. We will catch you next week. Best of luck with your picks and enjoy the games.